quest to the very gate of Mordor, in a perilous gamble to keep the eye of Sauron focused on him. After challenging the Dark Lord to come forth and face judgment, the Black Gate opens, and an embassy from Barad-dûr rides out, led by the Mouth of Sauron. Hello and welcome to the latest episode of the Line Unbroken, my progression-style playthrough series of The Lord of the Rings, the card game. I am continuing my saga campaign, almost coming to the end of it, with the second quest from the Mountain of Fire saga expansion. The Black Gate opens. So we have my campaign pool here. Overcome by Grief is up here. Both decks are at +3 starting threat. We have Esquire of Gondor attached to Pippin. Esquire of Rohan will not actually be appearing in this quest because I stuck it on Merry, obviously the thematic choice, and also the thematic choice he is not here because he's still recovering at the Houses of Healing after stabbing the Witch King. Ill Fate is shuffled into the encounter deck. Have Old Bogey Stories, Hoton Bombadil, 3 Golden Hairs I'm putting on Gimli, but I will not be using them in this quest. Beyond All Hope is attached to Gandalf. Valiant Warrior is attached to Aragorn. He's also getting the Old Bogey Stories. Leaf Wrapped Limbus I will give to Pippin. That I almost certainly will be using in this quest. Campaign card setup. Each player may change heroes they control without incurring the +1 threat penalty. The first player may raise each player's threat by 1, search their deck for Anduril and add it to their hand. Remove each burden with the following burden set icons from the encounter deck. Obviously, the burdens I already sorted out. I will be raising each deck's threat by 1 to grab Anduril here. Okay, and shuffle the deck. Warden of Healing, alright. Quest setup. At the Black Gate in the Mouth of Sauron to the staging area, set Gwaihir aside out of play, shuffle the encounter deck. So, the Black Gate, immune player card effects, the players cannot travel here. The Black Gate gets +1 threat for each resource on it. Forced at the beginning of the quest phase, place 1 resource here and raise each player's threat by 1. And the Mouth of Sauron, immune to player card effects, cannot leave the staging area. Forced after a player cancels a when revealed effect, the Mouth of Sauron makes an immediate attack against that player. Dire. The Dire keyword means that my threat elimination level is 99 instead of the usual 50, but each deck cannot reduce its threat by more than 1 each round by non-boon player card effects. When revealed. In player order, each player places the top card of their deck face up in front of them until there are a total of 4 face-up player cards between the players. Place the top 4 cards of the encounter deck face up. Starting with the highest cost player card, pair each player card with the highest threat encounter card remaining until there are 4 pairs. For each pair, the first player must choose. Either discard both cards in that pair or reveal the encounter card to play the player card at no cost. Since I have 2 decks, this works out to 2 cards from each deck. Okay. Warden of Healing, Shadowfax, Legacy of Numenor, and a Gondorian Shield. And the top 4 cards of the encounter deck. Okay, so the highest threat is this Nazgul of Mordor. So that gets paired with Shadowfax, which means I'm probably not getting Shadowfax. Then... oh no, the Slopes of Cirith Gorgor are also 4 threats, so I could have that. And then this. As much as I like the Legacy of Numenor, in this quest it's not worth starting with an extra enemy, I don't think. I don't want the Nazgul. I do already have another Warden of Healing in my hand, so... and I don't think I want the Troll, and I have another Gondorian Shield in my hand. Starting with Shadowfax, on the other hand, could be pretty great. even at the cost of starting with a 4-threat location. So let's try that. It's, as I say, the 4-threat is rough, but Shadowfax is potentially a big deal. There's a swing of 3 resources there. And of course there are no quest points on this, so I immediately advanced to stage 2. He gave a great cry and turned, leaped upon his steed, and with his company galloped madly back to Kirith Gorgor. But as they went, his soldiers blew their horns in signal long arranged, and even before they came to the gate, Sauron sprang his trap. Dire. When revealed, each player searches the encounter deck and discard pile for a different Orc, Troll, or Nazgul enemy and adds it to the staging area. Shuffle Gwaihir into the encounter deck. So, okay. Now I want... Where are they? Saga, Archer, and Orc of Mordor. They are added to the staging area, so I do not resolve the Surge on the Orc of Mordor. Oh, and shuffle Gwaihir into the encounter deck. Boon Gwaihir here. Alright. Dire. During the staging step, the first player does not reveal an encounter card as normal. Instead, they reveal 1 encounter card for each resource on the Black Gate. Forced after the player's quests unsuccessfully, discard the active location. This stage cannot be defeated. Each round the players survive gives the Ringbearer more time to fulfill the quest to Mount Doom. So, I'll just note here that this means any playthrough of this quest is technically valid. I don't have to keep going until I win because I can't win. But obviously this is a campaign. I want to have as much time as possible to complete the next quest, the final quest of the campaign, which is obviously relevant here. And for that matter, I also just want to put in a good showing against this quest. The general rule of thumb, which I think most people adhere to, is that you want to last at least 6 rounds here to have a good shot at the next quest. Ideally, I would like more, but definitely pretty much anything less than 6 I'm going to discard and try again. So, with that being said, let's begin the game. Control N. I didn't comment my opening hands. I did not take a mulligan on this because Gandalf's Staff, Wizard Pipe, Deep Knowledge, all good stuff. This hand I did take a mulligan on because I'm specifically here looking for resource generation, and I found a Legacy of Numenor, which I will play. So, okay. 40 threat and 37 threat. So, okay, 1 point to bear in mind is the Wraiths on Wings. I do want to deal with them early, but there's early and there's immediately. I don't know if I want to deal with them immediately. As it stands... Oh, no, what am I thinking? Yeah, I still have room. For some reason I was thinking their engagement cost was 40... not 45, and I was thinking, well, but of course Pippin increases it by 1. But no, they're 45, reduced by the resources on them, increased by Pippin. So I'm also going to play Deep Knowledge. Oh, hang on. Well, no, it's still fine. I was thinking maybe I wanted to play the Handmaiden from the top of my deck, but it's fine. Not least because I have the Wizard Pipe already in my hand. So, okay, I do think I want to play that Handmaiden, reduce this deck's threat by 1, just so I have slightly less risk of the Wraith on Wings, plus you're getting willpower right off the bat. Gandalf's Staff, of course. The Warden of Healing could be very significant. Yeah, I'll just play this Daeron's Runes. Okay, Arwen is also very good. Discarding a spare copy of Gandalf's Staff. Yeah, Arwen is also very significant, so maybe I play her instead. Just want to take a glance over here as well. Firefoot, Gondorian Shield, Sword that was broken, all good things. Herald of Anorian. I could use the Herald of Anorian. And thus save some of the resources on this side. But we are getting into somewhat dangerous territory with regards to engaging the Wraiths on Wings. That said, a strong start makes sense. So okay, I definitely want Gandalf's Staff. That is unquestioned. Worth noting, of course, this version of Aragorn, Sentinel, the first player gains control of him. Action, spend one resource from Aragorn's pool to ready him, limit once per phase, and if you lose play, the players lose the game. So, keeping resources on Aragorn makes sense, if possible. You know, if there's something I really want to play, then obviously I'll spend them, but his resources are prioritised to hold on to. I don't feel the need to hold on to a resource for a test of will, because I don't want to cancel anything, because I would then have to take an attack from the mouth of Sauron. Later on, those tests of will be important, but not right now. On the other hand, Hasty Stroke could be significant. So, you know, I was considering the possibility of a Heed the Dream is the thing, but no, I guess I'll play Warden of Healing, and then I'll pay one of Legolas's resources for Wizard Pipe. Over here, oh right, yeah, I just kind of locked myself into playing the Herald of Anorian. So sure, let's do that. Herald of Anorian, Doomed 2. Yeah, actually, maybe I go with the Handmaiden, drop this dex threat by 1 to be a bit safer. Pay 2 for Firefoot on Éomer, boosting him to 5 attack. And I guess that's it. So at the beginning of the quest phase, I put resources on the Wraiths on Wings. I put a resource on the Black Gate and raise each dex threat by 1. So in fact I have no leeway. If I quest unsuccessfully, I will have to engage the Wraiths on Wings. Right now, their engagement cost is reduced by 1 for the resources, increased by 1 for Pippin. So they're at 45, and this deck is at 44 threat. Threat in the staging area is 1, 5, 7, 11, 13, 14. I can quest. So with a Squire of Gondor, Pippin will pretty much always be getting the +1 willpower, because this version of Aragorn is Gondor, and so is Imrahil, and then Herald of Anorian. So let's see. 2, 6, 9, 11, 13, 15, 16, 17, paying one for his ability. I'm just going to put in 17 right now so I remember that's where I was up to. Response after AMA commits to the quest, spend one resource from his resource pool to declare him as an attacker and resolve his attack against an enemy in the staging area. So he'll hit the Saga Archer, it dies, reducing the threat in the staging area by 2. Obviously, I'm bearing in mind that I have the Leaf Wrapped Lembas available here. I could also trigger Legolas's ability to ready a hero by discarding a card. I could also send the Herald of Anorian, but I might want him as a chump. I can't use Legolas to ready Gimli because this deck is first player, so Gimli hasn't committed to the quest yet when Legolas commits to the quest. But it could still be worth it just to get an extra action out of Aragorn or Gandalf. I can't know for sure, obviously. But probably. So, well, maybe not. Of course, I will only be revealing 2 cards this round. There's only 1 resource here. So, the first player reveals 1 card, the second player reveals 1 card like normal. So, at most I could add 2 more willpower. But it might be worth just resigning myself to the fact I'm probably going to have to deal with the Wraiths on Wings. So let's just go with this. 17 against 12. I reveal another Saga Archer and Beleaguered Hills. While they're the active location, reduce the total threat in the staging area by X, where X is the total threat of each engaged enemy. And forced after it becomes the active location, each player engages a non-unique enemy in the staging area. So that's added 4 threat. I have in fact quested successfully. I make 1 progress on the quest, which doesn't matter. But, okay. So, yeah. I should travel to the slopes of Kirith Gorgor, get the threat out of the staging area. Beleaguered Hills is potentially useful to have less threat against me, but I would rather save it. So, with Pippin in effect, the only enemy I have to engage is the Orc of Mordor. But obviously, I should engage more than that. And I probably could deal with a Wraith on Wings if I'm willing to use up the Leaf Wrapped Lembas right away. I could use Gandalf's Staff to get a resource for a Feint from Imrahil. Of course, there's no reason for me to engage this Saga Archer, because AMA can kill it in the staging area next round when he commits to the quest, just like he did with the first one. So, of course, it takes 16 attack to kill a Wraith on Wings. If I bring it here, then I can have potentially 5, 7, 10, 13, 17. So I can't do 2 Wraiths on Wings, but I can do 1. So I think I should do that. So let's use up the Leaf Wrapped Lembas. So add Leaf Wrapped Lembas to the victory display and remove it from the campaign pool to ready all heroes in play. Now this deck will engage the Orc of Mordor and exhaust Pippin for the forced effect. This deck will engage the Wraith on Wings. So there is Archery 2. So let's just put that on Legolas and Pippin. And now let's consider this. I can ready Aragorn with his resources. I can ready Gandalf with Shadowfax. I will use the Wizard Pipe to put this Hasty Stroke on top of my deck in case I need to use it. It will speed up my deck. I could use Gandalf's Staff to get a resource on Imrahil for a feint. Or I could just throw the Herald of Anorion under the bus. But maybe, yeah, maybe just conserving everything except for maybe some hit points. Maybe the way to go. So Gandalf is Sentinel from Shadowfax, and he will. Oh, this is the wrong way around. Aragorn will defend the Orc of Mordor. Attacking enemy gets +1, +3 instead of it is the Mouth of Sauron, so +1 for attack. He takes 2 damage. Gandalf will Sentinel defend the Wraith on Wings. He's 4 defense. He takes 2 damage as well. Warden of Healing heals up Gandalf and Aragorn. I pay a resource from Aragorn to ready him, and he attacks the Orc of Mordor and kills it. And then I attack 5, 7, 10, 13, 17 and kill this Wraith on Wings. It goes to the victory display. I can use Gandalf's Staff to add a resource to Gimli, I think. Aragorn crosses the table with the first player token. Control N, new round. Heed the Dream, definitely worth considering at this point. Elfhelm is nice to see. Okay, let's first take a look at this. Yeah, I have no other lore cards that I'm interested in playing, and I think I want to spend Gandalf and one of Legolas's resources on Arwen. So Anduril isn't happening this round. So I definitely can play Heed the Dream. With that in mind, I have to consider the possibility of paying for the secondary effect on it, but then I would find myself a bit short of leadership resources as a result. I could play the Sword That Was Broken onto Aragorn first, giving him a leadership icon. But of course his resources have other uses. And of course this round I will have to engage the second Wraith on Wings, and I don't have a Leaf Wrapped Lembas. So I need to be prepared for that. So let's not do the Sword that was broken. But I will play Heed the Dream. And in fact, it may not matter, but I can play it in the resource phase. In fact, it does matter. So I play it in the resource phase, not the planning phase, from the top of my deck, and choose this deck to look at its top 5 cards. Okay, I was really hoping for Steward of Gondor, but I mean, I could possibly just take an Errand Rider. Like, there are a few ways the Errand Rider could be useful. And now I probably maybe I do. Okay, given that I have the Errand Rider, if I pay the 3 leadership resources to search my entire deck, I will have 2 leadership. No, I will have 1 leadership resource left. I can use Gandalf's Staff to get another one, which would mean I could then play Steward of Gondor, which would be what I would find. So then I would have 2 leadership resources on Gimli. It would cost me 1 of them to play the Errand Rider. No, that doesn't really work. So I guess I just don't. I will play the Errand Rider. Yeah, that Gondorian shield, I want it, but on the circumstances, since Gimli doesn't have the Gondor trait yet, well, I mean, he still has an ability related to defending. He can get up to 4 between the shield and Arwen. I'll play it. Between the Errand Rider and Gandalf's Staff, I have means of getting another tactics resource. Or indeed 2. Use the Wisdom Pipe to put Arwen on top of my deck. Play her. She will be targeting Gimli unless I say otherwise, which I don't think I will. So, okay. Resource on the Wraith on Wings, resource on the Black Gate, a point of threat each. Now, this round, this deck is first player commits to the quest first, so I can use Legolas to ready Gimli, so I will be doing that, and that gives Gimli an extra point of willpower. Éomer is definitely questing because he can kill the Saga Archer. The threat in the staging area is 2, 4, 8, 10. I will be revealing 3 cards this round. So that's definitely 1, 3, 6, 8, 10, 13, 14, discarding Arwen to ready Gimli, 18. That seems pretty reasonable. And yeah, because I want to. Usually I would quest with Imrahil, but I definitely want to hold him back in this instance because I need attack to kill the second Wraith on Wings. and I just exhausted AMR. So, okay, revealing 3 cards. Rogue Soldier, okay. Hellhawk. Peril, when revealed, either search the encounter deck, discard pile, and victory display for a Nazgul enemy and add it to the staging area, or attach Hellhawk to a Nazgul enemy in play, counts as a mount attachment with the text limit 1 per enemy. Attached enemy gets +2 threat, attack, and defense, and is immune to player card effects. This may be a problem, but I'm going to have to just attach it to the Wraith on Wings, I think, because in the long run it's better than getting an additional Nazgul. And Waste of Daggerlad. While it's the active location, treat the printed text box of each ally as if it were blank, except for traits. Okay, so that that's added 3, 6, 8 threat. I break even on questing. Let me just check this. I made a mistake on this on a previous recording, which I have therefore discarded because mistakes are going to make a big difference to this. 2, 6, 8, 10, 12, 15, 18. And I'm questing for 4, 5, 8, 10, 12, 14, 15, 18. Yep, okay. So I tie the quest, which means I did not quest unsuccessfully, so I do not discard the active location, which means I don't spawn an extra enemy. That is actually kind of useful. I do have to deal with the 2 enemies that I do have in play. So let's consider these. Well, to bring maximum attack power to bear on the Wraith on Wings, I need to have it here. The only question is what I do with the Rogue Soldier. I guess, yeah, Gandalf and Legolas are both ranged. I don't have an abundance of defences in general, so I should just have the Rogue Soldier here anyway. Okay, and after it engages, you raise your threat by 2. So, okay. Right, so relevant points here. If I get a resource on AMR, I can put Elf Helm into play with his action. I should have readied Aragorn in the encounter phase, or any phase before the combat phase, so I can still ready him again in the combat phase if it's relevant. Yeah, if I get a resource on AMR, I can put Elf Helm into play. If I get a resource on Imrahil, I can trigger his ability, which will probably spawn me an extra ally for additional attack or defense. This Wraith on Wings is attacking for 8, so, and it's immune to player card effects, so I defend it with the Herald of Anorian. I think. Okay, so how is my attack power? 3, 7, +1 for Gimli, 11, 15. I am 1 short of... Oh no, I am 3 short because it's +2 defense as well. I need all the attack power I can get. So basically, yeah. Okay, so I do this and this. So we bring in Elfhelm, and I use Imrahil's ability. Top 5 cards in my deck. I was only short by 3. Elfhelm is 2. So the envoy should be enough. And she gets me an extra resource back, which I will put on Imrahil. So I could actually play the Feint. I have that option again. I defend the Wraith on Wings with Herald of Anorian. Okay. Herald of Anorian is dead, overcome by grief, attaches to Imrahil, but it doesn't trigger yet. It attaches to a hero, but because it wasn't attached to him at the time that a character I control was destroyed, the effect doesn't go off until the next time that I chump. So, yeah, I could now use the Feint, but... well, actually, oh no, I can't use the Feint. I have to defend something with Gimli so that he can ready Legolas, because Legolas is more attack than he is. So, and I wanted to do this anyway, preserve the Feint for future rounds when it'll be more significant. Gimli is defending for 4. No shadow, he takes 1 damage, and it's very nice to see both copies of Tower of the Teeth go as shadow cards. So yes, 1 damage to Gimli. I heal Gimli and Aragorn. And now let's see if I added this up correctly. 4, 7, 9, 10, 14, 18 attack against 6 defense and 12 hit points. The second Wraith on Wings goes to the victory display. I can't do anything about the Uruk Soldier. I could ready Aragorn and attack it, do 2 damage. But I think it's probably better to save Aragorn's resources. I'm not 100% sure about that. Maybe I should take the damage now. But, well, no. I think... yeah, maybe I should, because... okay. I spend Aragorn's resource. He attacks. He does 2 damage. Because next round, Éomer will obviously be ready. He attacks for 5, and so he can kill the Uruk Soldier on his own. Well, of course, Aragorn will be over here. I don't know for sure that that's the best play, because I am not prescient, but it makes a certain amount of sense for those reasons. Okay, both Wraiths on Wings are dead. Things are looking reasonable. New round. Aragorn is over here. Still no sign of Student Gondor, which is the big thing that I am missing. I don't have 3 leadership resources to spend on the secondary effect of Heed the Dream. Play this Handmaiden and drop this deck's threat by 1. Oh. Yeah, okay. No, whatever. It's... I was going to say, oh, I shouldn't have put that resource from the Envoy on Imrahil. I should have put it on Gimli or Éomer. Because I knew that I wasn't going to play the Feint. But, you know, whatever. I've made my decision. even if it was wrong. If I'm willing to risk going without a hasty stroke, I could get Anduril into play. Or, of course, as noted, Heed the Dream could be pretty great. I could use Gandalf's Staff to get a third leadership resource. But then whatever I grabbed with Heed the Dream, I would not be... Well, Student Gondor, I would not be able to play it. I could... If I find Student Gondor in just the top 5, then maybe that would be worth it. So maybe I should do that. I've seen all of my Heed the Dreams. Student Gondor is not the only thing left that I really want, but it's the main thing, so only getting to use the kicker once is probably okay. I would like to get Anduril in. But of course then I would have to use Gandalf's Staff to add the resource back to Aragorn so that he can ready himself after questing. And you know, there are risks involved. Though Anduril does obviously save on combat actions if he can get kills with it. So yeah, okay. I'm gonna do that. Watch me get screwed by a shadow effect. But then, of course, with that in mind, I can also give him a Dunedain Mark. So he's up to 6 attack. And yeah, nothing else for me to play over here really. So questing, beginning of the quest phase, I put a resource on the Black Gate and raise each text threat by 1. Threat in the staging area is 3, 7, 9, 12. Quest for 3, 7, 10, 12, 14, 16, can't really get more than that. So, well, yeah, I'll send Legolas, but not trigger his ability, I think. Or maybe yeah, okay, no, I'll send Legolas. Discard the Wizard Pipe and ready Aragorn. So 17 against 12, I'm revealing 4 cards. Slopes of Kirith Gorgor. Waste of Dagorlad. Rage filled him. Peril, the Mouth of Sauron makes an immediate attack against you. If this attack destroys a character, raise your threat by 4. Okay, the Mouth of Sauron is 6 attack. Guess I exhaust Gandalf's Staff to add a resource to Legolas. I Wizard Pipe the Hasty Stroke onto the top of my deck, and I defend with Gandalf. Discard a non-objective attachment you control. That's not the end of the world. Though under the circumstances, I guess I probably have to discard all bogey stories. And didn't trust my draw. Gandalf takes 2 damage. And the final card of staging is Gwaihir. Okay. 3/3/5, ranged sentinel. When revealed, the first player must choose either take control of Gwaihir or spend 1 fellowship resource and discard Gwaihir to discard a non-unique enemy in the staging area. There are no non-unique enemies in the staging area, and I don't have any fellowship resources, so the first player takes control of Gwaihir. I don't actually have a choice. Okay, I have added 7 threat to the staging area. Let's just confirm again. 4, 10, 12, 16, 19. I'm questing for 17. So I failed the quest by 2, but that could have been much worse, honestly. And after the player's quest unsuccessfully, discard the active location. Forced when Slopes of Cirith Gorgor leaves play, the first player shuffles the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck and discards cards from the top until an enemy is discarded. Then they put that enemy into play engaged with them. So, it says when it leaves play, which I think it's ambiguous as to whether or not the Slopes of Cirith Gorgor should be in the discard pile when you shuffle the discard pile in or not. I'm going to play that it's not. So I shuffle in the discard pile. Then the Slopes of Cirith Gorgor are the new discard pile. And there's my enemy. So I put this Orca Mordor into play, engaged with me. And I'm going to exhaust Gwaihir for the forced effect. Because I would rather have my healing available. So, okay. Travel. I'm going to kill both of these enemies. So, okay, the Waste of Daggerlad is very annoying, but I might be able to deal with it right now. If I just, do my healing and Errand Rider in advance. It's less threat than the Slopes of Cirith Gorgor, but obviously that spawns another enemy. And these, I want to get rid of them. So taking, when I have an opportunity for one that's not too harmful to me, such as now, I heal Gandalf and Pippin. I move a resource from Imrahil to Gimli, and then I travel to the Waste of Daggerlad. Deal shadow cards. Aragorn defends against the Orc of Mordor. No shadow effect. I exhaust Anduril to have him counterattack and kill it. Gimli defends against the Uruk Soldier. I do not trigger his ability. After this attack, attacking enemy engages the next player, then makes an attack. Yeah. Okay. Hasty stroke for that. And I find another hasty stroke. That's nice. Air attacks and kills the Uruk Soldier. Aragorn crosses the table, worth noting that Gwaihir does not. First player takes control of him as part of the when revealed, but then he doesn't follow the first player token. These, yeah, I think these two cards have the same art, just split in two. I'm not sure I've ever noticed that before. Never put them side by side. I noticed that they were similar, but I don't think I ever put them side by side, so it just connects up. Right. Bjorn is not supposed to be in my hand. So that's a little annoying, but okay. Now definitely could be a moment for Heed the Dream. Or I could just play the Sword That Was Broken. Get that extra willpower going. Yeah, I'm going to just do that. Sword That Was Broken onto Aragorn. I will add the willpower token to him, and I'll just have to remember it for everyone else on whichever side of the table he is on. Obviously it's more beneficial over here because this deck has the questing allies. And now Wizard Pipe Garnbury Garn onto the top of my deck. Play him. Okay, there's the Evening Star. That's also good to see. That obviously is a potential solution to the Waste of Daggerlad as well. Okay, so right now, of course, Garnbury Garn's text box is blank, so he has no willpower. I didn't actually consider that, but I think this is probably still the way I want to go. It just means that I will not quest with him this round. So, okay, I will be revealing 5 cards in this staging. Threat in the staging area is 4, 8, 10, 13, 17. I can use Legolas to ready Gimli. So 1, 4, 6, 8, 10. Actually, there's a treachery that removes a character from the quest. So unless I think his one attack is going to be significant, just in case. 4, 5, 8, 10, 14, 18, 22, 25, and I'm discarding Shadowfax to Legolas to ready Gimli. 25. Sounds good. I'm holding Gwaihir back for combat. Okay, revealing 5 cards. Warrior of Rune. When revealed, choose a questing character you control and remove it from the quest. Yeah, unfortunately, it's that you control, so I can't remove Garn for this. Maybe it was the Warrior of Rune I was thinking of, but I think that might be a treachery that does it as well. Yeah, and obviously the odds are against this deck getting hit by an effect like that because this deck is only revealing 1 card as opposed to this deck's 4. But okay, so the lowest willpower character I have on the quest is Imrahil for 3. Ill Fate. Attach it to Imrahil. It surges. Hellhawk. Since there are no Nazgul in play, I have to find a new one. That's still the 2nd card of staging. Have to keep track of that. Nazgul of Mordor. Cannot have non-Morgul attachments. Forced after it attacks, either raise your threat by 4 or return it to the staging area. Okay, that was card 2, 3, Snowy Archer, 4, Warrior of Rune again, which removes another 4 willpower from the quest. And card 5, this deck's card, Reeking Moat. Force Doctor becomes the active location. Choose a non-unique, non-Nazgul enemy in the staging area and place it face down under Reeking Moat. And forced when Reeking Moat leaves play, put each enemy under it into play engaged with the first player. Okay, so I've added to the staging area 1, 2, 6, 8, 10 threat and removed 7 willpower. So I quest unsuccessfully by 9. Which means I discard the active location. Now my allies' text boxes are no longer blank. Worth noting, of course, that they were blank when I committed to the quest, which means that Arwen's ability had no effect because she didn't have an ability at the time. So Gimli is only Gimli is only 3 defense this round. He's still not Gondor traded. Okay. Under the circumstances, I think I definitely want to make use of this Reeking Moat here. Because this feels like too many enemies right now. I want to pay a resource from Arnor to ready him. Let's see, he's 6 attack, which means he can counterattack, kill a Saga Archer, but not the Warrior Rune, which takes 7 to kill. Yeah, obviously the enemy that you most want to get rid of is the one that you can't get rid of with the Reeking Moat because it specifies non-Nazgul. But then I could muster enough attack to kill all 3 of these. But do I want to take out the Nazgul first? It is the most threat. Because if I want to do that, then that is obviously a reason to go to the Reeking Moat instead. 13 attack. I could get something out of Imrahil. I could add a resource to Aragorn to ready him again if I want to have it over here. Or if I have it over here. I mean, just 4, 8, 11. Be too short. Or here 5. Oh yeah, Gwaihir is ranged as well. So yeah, if I brought the Nazgul down here, I could kill it. So that's probably worth doing. Travel to the Reeking Moat, put a Warrior Rune out of play under it. This deck engages the Nazgul. Then I guess general principles I want to have most of the enemies over here because I have a bunch of ranged on this side of the table, so it makes sense to do this and the Saga Archer. Deal 2 damage to a character you control. Let's do Legolas. Okay, and Archery 2. Errand Rider and Gunbury Gun. So critically I feint the Nazgul. So its forced effect doesn't go off because it doesn't attack. There is no after something which doesn't happen. Gimli defends against the Warrior of Rune and pays a resource to ready Legolas with +1 attack. Attacking enemy gets +1 attack for each resource on the Black Gate, so that's +4. Gimli is currently only 3 defense, so an attack of 8 would kill him. There goes another hasty stroke. That is one of the shadow effects I was particularly expecting to have to cancel if it came up. And Aragorn will defend against the archer. Exhaust a character you control. Okay, let me work out my attack power. So I should have done this in advance, really. I can use Gandalf's staff to ready Aragorn if I want. So 4, 8, 11 attack. I only need 2 more for the Nazgul. Or if I exhaust Gwai here, yeah, okay, I exhaust Gwai here, it's fine. That's 4 attack against 3 defense. Aragorn takes 1 damage. I exhaust Anduril and kill the archer. 1 of healing will heal Aragorn and Gandalf. And now I can attack for 5, 9, 13, killing the Nazgul. And yeah, I'm going to pay 1 for Imrahil's ability. Search the top 5 cards of my deck for an ally. Veteran of Osgiliath is fine. Exhaust Gandalf's staff to add a resource to Aragorn. Pay it to ready him and attack for 6 since I'm over 40 threat. 3 from the veteran, so 9, and kill the Warrior of Rune. Board is clear again. Well, clear of enemies. Shuffled back into my deck there. Control N. Herald of Anorian, not useful here. Now is definitely time to do a Heed the Dream, I think. So, top 5 cards of this deck. Still no Steward of Gondor. I'm going to take Rohirrim, I think. Oh, Guthrum, also very tempting. Just to stack up Amir's attack. Yeah. Take Guthrum, actually. And now, okay, so I do actually have 3 leadership resources. including the one on Aragorn. So I could now dig out Steward of Gondor. But as usual, I feel like I probably will want those resources to ready Aragorn and for Gimli to ready a hero, probably Legolas. So, yeah, I think I leave it at that. I mean, having said that, I'm going to spend 2 of them to give Éomer his sword. Okay. Quest phase. Resource and threat. Threat in the staging area is 5, 9, 11, 14, 18. Wait, I put the Heed the Dream on top of my deck and paid the resource, but then didn't actually move it. Yeah, okay. I could have done that in the resource phase, so I could have then played this Handmaiden in the planning phase at the cost of not having Test of Will available. It's getting to the point where I might actually want to cancel something though, so I think I should leave it. Plus my willpower is going to be pretty good this round because Aragorn and the Sword That Was Broken are over here. So, yes, 18 threat in the staging area. God is 2, 3 with the sword. 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 18, discarding the Evening Star to ready Aragorn. 23, 27, 29. Yeah, that looks pretty good. And again, I can hold back Gwai here for combat. I am revealing 6 cards. Okay, Mouth of Sauron makes an immediate attack. If it destroys a character, raise your threat by 4. So I could defend with Gwai here. So, okay, so I'm just going to talk about the resolution here. The relevant bit at this point being, if the first player controls Gwai here, add him to the campaign pool. It's poorly phrased because it's possible for Gwai here to be in play but not controlled by the first player, except, and also actually at the end of the quest, Gwai here will not be in play because you can't win the quest. So at the end of the quest, Gwai here is probably in the discard pile because the player controlling him has been eliminated from the game. But that aside, the intention would clearly be, if Gwai here was in play immediately before you lost, then he should be added to the campaign pool. So potentially having him killed by the Mouth of Sauron would be bad in that respect. On the other hand, he is obviously much more expendable than any of my heroes, and there's nothing to say that he is removed from the game if he's destroyed. He would go to the discard pile, which could then be shuffled back into the encounter deck, so he could then be revealed again. And of course, he, barring shadow effects, he should actually survive this. Any shadow effect that would kill him would also kill a hero, so defend with Gwai here. And there we go. +3 attack if it is the Mouth of Sauron. That would have killed Gandalf. Would have killed Gimli. And a relevant point, both Ill Fate and Overcome by Grief specify after a character you control is destroyed. This deck did not control Gwai here, so Imrahil is unaffected by that. But that attack did destroy a character, so this deck raised its threat by 4 per the treachery. That was all card 1. Card 2, Wall of Moranon. While it's the active location, each enemy in the location in the staging area is immune to player card effects, and after it becomes the active location, return each engaged enemy to the staging area. The Hour of Doom, doomed 1. And each player must choose either raising a threat by 1 for each character you control or discard the highest cost ally you control. Okay. Discard the Errand Rider. Discard a Handmaiden. Which reduces my willpower by 3. That was the 3rd card of staging. Card 4, Nazgul. Card 5, Jaws of Steel. Each player assigns X damage among characters they control, where X is the number of resources on the black gate. So 5. This is something that, you know, it's getting to the point where I could consider cancelling it, but I can probably cope. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That was card 5 of staging. Card 6 of staging is Towers of the Teeth. Immune to player card effects, X is the number of characters controlled by the player with the most characters, and while it's the active location, players cannot play allies. So, okay. 9, and this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 threat. So I've added 17 threat. I was doing pretty okay until Towers of the Teeth. It's just a really horrible card. But okay, so once again I have failed the quest by 9. The active location is discarded, which means this is willing to play engaged with the first player. I have no allies that I really want to play, so I'm definitely going to the Towers of the Teeth. Need that threat out of the staging area. Let's see, I don't have another feint for the Nazgul, but I should probably engage it anyway. Want a resource on Gimli. So engage the Nazgul. Deal shadow cards. Pay resource from Imrahil to spawn in an ally. Elfhelm, sure. So, Aragorn defends against the Warrior of Rune. He's 3 defense, so he takes 1 damage, and he counterattacks with Anduril to deal 3 damage. Gimli defends against Nazgul and pays a resource to ready Legolas with +1 attack. Attack Gimli gets +1 attack, so that's 7 attack against Gimli's 4 defense, 3 damage. 1 will heal Aragorn and Gimli. Now, it takes 13 to kill this. AMR is 7. So, yeah, okay. 4 kills the Warrior of Rune. 5, 7, 9, 13. Oh, and yeah, after the Nazgul attacks, raise my threat by 4 so as to not return it to the staging area. And so yes, Guthrum after attached hero is declared as an attacker, exhaust Guthrum to give that hero +2 attack for this attack. If this attack destroys an enemy, return a Rohan ally from your discard pile to your hand. Elfhelm. This copy of Elfhelm gets shuffled back into my deck by Imrahil's ability. Aragorn comes over here. Control N. Captains of the West. Okay, the Evening Star. Don't have an obvious target for it. Yeah, there's a lot to be said for the potential Captains of the West play here. I should probably do it. But I'm still looking at this Heed the Dream. But maybe I want to play the Evening Star anyway. Or at least have the option of doing so. So let's play the Handmaiden, drop this deck's threat by 1. And then, yeah, okay, beginning of the quest phase, resource and threat. Staging threat is currently 6, 10, 12, 15, 19, 24. We're going to pay 3 leadership resources for Captains of the West. Quest action until the end of the phase. Each noble hero gets +1 willpower and does not exhaust to commit to the quest. That's all my heroes apart from Gandalf and Pippin. I will be using Legolas's ability, discarding one of my 3 tests of will to ready Gandalf. So, 5, 7, 10, 13, oh, sorry, Sword that was broken as well as Captains of the West. 5, 8, 12, 16. Oh, I couldn't play the Handmaiden. Just leave that where it is. Because of the Towers and Teeth, I can't play allies. Right, where was I? 5, 8, 12, 16, 18, 20, 23, 25, 29, 36. Since, of course, Guard's willpower is currently 7 with the Towers of the Teeth active. Okay. And we revealing 7 cards. Waste of Daggerlad, Orc Soldier, Orc of Mordor, Surges, Easterling Bowman, deal 1 damage to a questing character you control. That's 3 cards. Card 4, Reeking Moat. Card 5, Easterling Bowman. Card 6, Gorgoroth Hill Troll. Cannot have attachments. Forced after it attacks and destroys a character, the defending player discards a random card from their hand and raises their threat by that card's printed cost. And card 7, the Hour of Doom. Doomed 1. Each player must choose either raise your threat by 1 for each character you control or discard the highest cost ally you control. So, okay. Obviously, this deck has no allies in play, so I guess I have to raise my threat by 4. This deck, I would kind of like to keep those allies, and it only just has it overtake this deck in threat, so maybe I should. I mean, I might reverse that decision depending on the results of questing here. So I've added 3, 5, 7, 9, 10, 13, 16 threat to the staging area. I failed the quest by 4. Okay. But I could reduce that by playing the Evening Star. There is 1 copy already in my discard pile, so I get to place 2 progress twice. So I don't want to clear the Bleaked Hills, can't clear the Waste of Daggerlad, which is annoying, but can't clear the Wall of Moranon. Also kind of annoying. It would be great to get rid of that. I can clear the Reeking Moat, or I can clear the Slopes of Kirith Golgor. If I clear the slopes, then I will break even on the quest, but I will have to spawn an additional enemy. If I clear the Reeking Moat, I will not have to spawn an additional enemy, but I will fail the quest by 2. I think at this point, probably do the slopes, and of course I have, that only uses up 1 set of 2 progress, so Bleaked Hills maybe for the other 2. Why not? But again, I don't know if this should be part of what's shuffled in or not, but I'm going to say not. And there's the enemy, it's a Nazgul. Great. Okay. Oh, but wait, but that means I don't quest unsuccessfully, so the Taz of the Teeth remains in play. Which, while it increases my willpower with Garn, I don't think that's a good idea. So, oh geez. But I just reshuffled the discard pile. It's definitely possible for me to unpick this, but it would take a while. But I do kind of want to. I should probably have just explored the Reeking Moat, failed the quest by 2, discarded the Taz of the Teeth, and then travelled to a different location. So I guess I will. Yeah, I want to. I want to switch that back. So I guess I should just check the threat again. 6, 10, 12, 15, 20, 23, 26, 27, 29, 31, 33, 36. Yeah. 36 is also my willpower. So, okay, I'm going to stop recording here and reassemble the discard pile and switch the locations around, because obviously I can just check everything in what I've already recorded, and then we will continue from there. Alright, so I just took a few minutes and reassembled what was in the discard pile before I did the Evening Star, because as noted, what I should in fact have done is I should have used the Evening Star to just place 4 progress on the Reeking Moat, I think. Yeah, because I can't clear the Wall of Moranon, and the Beleaguered Hills are potentially useful. I mean, the Reeking Moat is also potentially useful, but the Reeking Moat just temporarily removes an enemy, whereas the Beleaguered Hills removes a bunch of threat from the staging area if I can't kill everything, and I'm getting to the point where I probably can't kill everything, but would really like to not threat out yet, so that I can get another round or 2 out of this. So we're going to clear the Reeking Moat, which reduces the threat in the staging area by 2, but I still quest unsuccessfully. Each deck raises the threat by 2, and I discard the Taz of the Teeth. So now, of course, I did just bring up that the Beleaguered Hills could reduce the threat in the staging area if I don't kill everything. And I said I might not kill everything. But on the other hand, almost all of my heroes are ready. So I can kill a decent amount of this stuff at the moment. So now might be a time to remove more threat from the staging area. Go to the Wall of Moranon. And then next round, plan on going to the Beleaguered Hills. I don't know. Okay, let me think about this. So, either an Orc of Mordor or an Easterling Bowman can be killed by Anduril. If I transfer the Dunedain Mark to Éomer, just going to put extra attack tokens on him because he's never going to attack more than once in a round anyway, so he is basically just 7 attack. If I transfer the Dunedain Mark, he'd be 8 attack, which means he could attack alone and use Firefoot to kill an Orc of Mordor and an Easterling Bowman with 1 attack. That's 3 enemies gone just from those 2. Of course, I also need to defend everything. This is a point where actually the Reeking Moat that I just got rid of might have been useful, but it was still probably better not to have those additional 2 points of threat. And then, yeah, I mean, I can definitely get a few kills. The defenses are really the issue. So maybe I do want, because I think I'm going to have to kill a hero. Maybe 2 heroes, so maybe I do want to go to the Beleaguered Hills. Just try to hold on for the 1 additional round. Because I just don't have enough hit points. Or defense. I'm still thinking about this. Was there an alternative? I could have cleared the Beleaguered Hills and then travelled to the Reeking Moat and only had 4 enemies to deal with. And probably all my heroes would make it out alive. So, is it going to be better for me to have less threaten the staging area, but yeah, actually no. Okay, so let's just switch those around. Beleaguered Hills is the same threat, so it doesn't matter in that regard. Travel to the Reeking Moat, get rid of the Hill Troll. Alright. So I want most of the enemies here, preferably. Or, well, no, the important thing is that I have these here. Oh, jeez. After engaging you exhaust a character you control. That's a thing. But okay, so if this deck optionally engages and I exhaust Imrahil, then I get this. which is probably what I want. And we have archery 2. Currently only 1 damage on Aragorn. Okay, I'm just going to exhaust the Warden of Healing and... So yeah, I assign... I heal and then assign the archery to where I just healed. So it just evens out. So now I... Trigger Imrahil's ability. Oh yeah, this deck should have raised its threat by 2 when it engaged the Orc Soldier. And... okay. Extra resource, or... The point of damage is insignificant, and I might... So it's just a question of the attack, but I think I may want to chomp the Uruk Soldier anyway, because defenses are still kind of short. I had just figured out how I could do this. I've forgotten. I think it did involve chomping with an Imrahil ally. I guess Gandalf can defend. Something like that. Actually, no, hang on. I'm going to assign my archery and keep the Warden ready in case of emergencies. And yeah, I'm going to bring in the Envoy of Pelargir. And add a resource to... Oh right, no, I was thinking I could ready Aragorn. I could give him an extra resource with Gandalf's staff, and then I could ready him so he could defend the second attack. I wasn't thinking of using Gandalf. Regardless, I will add the resource to Aragorn. And then the Envoy defends against the Orc Soldier. No shadow. The Envoy is destroyed. Now, overcome by grief and ill fate trigger. This deck gets an extra 2 points of threat. Okay, so these are both 3 attack. Gimli defends. There are no non-unique enemies in the staging area, so that does nothing. And defend with Gandalf, no shadow. Defend with Aragorn. Again, no non-unique enemies in the staging area. I trigger Anduril. And that guy's dead. I move this Dunedain mark. So now Éomer can attack for 8. It doesn't matter which one of these he attacks because they have the same defense. 1 defense and a total of 7 hit points, 8 attack, with fire foot he attacks alone, and excess damage is assigned to the other enemy, so they are both dead from 1 attack. It takes 7 to kill an Orc Soldier, so there we go, the Orc Soldier is dead, and I will heal Aragorn and Gimli. Gandalf's staff, trigger on Aragorn for a resource. Control N. Okay, Aragorn is over here. Found another feint, but of course the real concern here is trying not to be eliminated on threat. So, with that in mind, let's Wizard Pipe this, play the Handmaiden. I'm not going to be using that Deep Knowledge, but I think I will play Justice Shall Be Done. Planning action, add Justice Shall Be Done to the victory display to draw 3 cards and add 3 resources to the resource pool of each hero you control. At the end of the round you are eliminated from the game. So, and I draw 3 cards. Okay. I played the Handmaiden from the top of my deck. I'm going to exhaust Gandalf's Staff to draw a card so that I can play this Unexpected Courage onto Gimli. And now is definitely time for Heed the Dream. This deck, so it's top 5. Steward of Gondor is finally there. So I will grab that and then I will pay 3 leadership resources from Aragorn, search the entire deck for can't do Captains of the West again. I don't have the resources for it. No point in grabbing another Justice Shall Be Done. I could get that Gondorian Shield. Or just the Errand Rider. I've already got Elf Helm in hand. Yeah, it seems like kind of a waste, but I'm just going to take the Errand Rider. And okay, play Steward of Gondor. It's, to be fair, it's relatively insignificant at this point for the extra resources, since I am very much coming to the end of the game. But it could still matter. And it does give Gimli an extra point of defense. So he'll be up to 5 defense. And yeah, okay. Beginning with the quest phase, the resource and points of threat. Threat in the staging area is 7, 11, 14, 17, 21, 26. Actually, no, I am going to grab Captains of the West, because I can't play it this round, but assuming I survive this round, if I play Captains of the West, I might even survive next round. And next round I will be able to play it. So, okay. Yarth is not limit once per round. So if Pippin is still here in the refresh phase, I can trigger her a second time. Okay, right. Yes, threaten the staging area. 7, 11, 14, 17, 21, 26. This is only 2. I do have the Sword that was broken active. So 3, 6, 9, 12, 16, 18, 23, 27, 29. Yeah, this probably doesn't work for me. Yes, Imrahil is still exhausted because I've overcome my grief last round. Yeah, okay. I'm revealing 8 cards. So, the odds of this working, and me not raising my threat by too much, are slim. This is where, obviously, as I kind of alluded to, Beleaguered Hills could have come in really handy. If I had a bunch of engaged enemies still, that would be a big reduction to the threat in the staging area. Okay, Onslaught of Mordor. Each player deals 1 damage to a questing character they control until the end of the phase. Each damaged character gets -1 willpower and cannot be healed. No, 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 no. Test of Will. Cancel that. Mouth of Sauron makes an immediate attack, which I will defend with... I could defend it with Gimli, actually, but I probably actually just defend it with the Warden of Healing, because I want to keep all my willpower around. Okay, an attack boost doesn't matter. That's card 1 of staging. Card 2, Doomed 1. And that's going to be an additional threat raise. Or, well, for this deck it will be an additional threat raise. For this deck it would be either a huge threat raise or discard an ally. Which would reduce my willpower, which in turn leads to threat raises. So, Test of Will again. This is very much the sort of complicated dance that you have to go through at this point in this quest, where you're not really, obviously you're not considering how you can survive and win, just how you can stay alive for for one more round. Yeah, that was still just card 2 of staging. 3, 4. In retrospect, I probably should have just been questing with Yorath, but I can remove Legolas. Five. Okay. We're going to throw Legolas under the bus here. There he goes. Raise my threat by 4. That was card 5. Card 6. Card 7. Okay. Oh, I still have Hoton Bombadil. I have one more card to reveal. I've added 2, 3, 6 threat already. So as it stands, I'm questing unsuccessfully by 5. If I cancel this with Hoton Bombadil, and the final card of staging does not add 2 threat, then I could then endeavour to survive the combat phase and get to the start of the next quest phase. That's probably not going to work out though. It was a good attempt, but the odds of this final card, I assume I've reshuffled at some point, yeah. The odds of this final card not adding 2 threat to the staging area, I mean, I could get another treachery, but I also might really want to have Hoton Bombadil for Mount Doom. Or just never use it. Sure, either way. I mean, I guess if I were playing by myself and not recording it, I would probably just look at the next card and allow myself the more favourable version, whichever it was. But here, I'm going to say that from a campaign strategy point of view, the chance that this final card does not add 2 more threat to the staging area, or like it's not just another copy of this, and that it does not somehow cause me to threat out in this quest phase, is too slim for it to be worth burning Hoton Bombadil when I could use it next quest. So that obviously it loses me a ton of willpower, but yeah, okay, Taz of the Teeth, massive threat added to the staging area, so I was screwed regardless. Yeah, I don't need to count up the threat. I know that it is way more than enough to cause both decks to exceed 99 threat, which means that they're both eliminated from the game, and so I have lost the quest. There are 7 resources on the Black Gate. That obviously, that was it was a good attempt for the final round play. This game kind of went weirdly because I was constantly bugged by the fact that I didn't have Steward of Gondor. Having those extra resources would have been really nice. It would have made things easier. Having the extra point of defense on Gimli from the Gondoran shield would also have been really nice. It would have helped a lot. But in spite of that, everything was still kind of working out. I was consistently clearing the board of enemies. My questing actually got more rough because I had the 2 Warriors of Rune in the same round, and then the Towers of the Teeth the following round. So I had 2 times of questing unsuccessfully by 9. And I suppose if those had gone better, then I might have been able to last this extra round. But obviously then something else could easily have gone wrong. That's the Black Gate opens. That's, despite my player deck performance being perhaps a little odd, not getting Steward, but things just working anyway because I had enough other combat tricks. I feel like that's fairly representative of the quest. It's harsh, but I personally find it very interesting and fun to, in a kind of way, to be making those. I find the last few rounds of this very fun. Generally, the last couple, or even just the last round. Making those calculations of, okay, so if I do this and this and this, then I can, you get to the point where it's okay, so I engage the enemies and I just start taking attacks undefended, kill off all my heroes apart from Aragorn, who will then in the refresh phase be passed over, and this deck might die, but this deck lasts into the next round, which means 1 more resource here, slightly better performance, and an easier time in the next quest of the campaign. And obviously this was nice timing in theory, because of course I played Justice Shall Be Done, and it's at the end of the round you are eliminated from the game, which means that's after the first player token has passed. So this deck, Aragorn would have passed to the other deck, and then this deck would have been eliminated from the game. And so I could get to, so long as there was at least 1 hero still over here, I would have gotten to the start of the next quest phase and gotten an 8th resource. And then that would have been it. I would not have survived that quest phase. Even, I thought, Captains of the West, but that it would not have been enough with all of these locations already there and losing all the questing allies from over here. Anyway, okay, campaign resolution. Record the number of resource tokens on the Black Gate, 7. If a Wraith on Wings is in the victory display, remove that copy from the campaign pool. They are both gone. If the first player controls Gwai here, I already talked about this. It's poorly phrased. And also, I don't have Gwai here because he died earlier. So I will not have that boon in the encounter deck for Mount Doom, unfortunately. But I would much rather... I think if I had killed a hero to that attack from the Mouth of Sauron, it's less likely that I would have made it to round 7 here. And I would rather have an extra round on Mount Doom than Gwai here shuffled into the encounter deck. If a hero is in its controller's discard pile, do not add that hero's name to the list of fallen heroes. And that's it. So yeah, if you enjoy this, please consider supporting me on Patreon. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.